the boy who carried newspapers and carried the future. Welcome, read this slowly. Welcome. Before you check your phone. Before you say maybe later. Before you tell yourself I can't. Read this. Because this story is not about rockets. It is about a quiet boy who taught the world how to dream. And today you will learn something powerful. Your future is not decided by where you are born. It is decided by how you think while you are there. A morning in Rameswaram. The sun rises quietly over the small town of Rameswaram in South India. Waves touch the shore. Temples wake up. Birds fly low across the sky. And a thin boy runs through empty streets holding newspapers. His name is Abdul Kalam. He is not late for school. He is early for life. Every morning, before most people wake up, Kalam is already working. He carries heavy bundles. He walks long distances. He earns a few coins. But he never complains. Because he understands something most adults don't. Work is not shameful. Not working on your future is. His family and his values. Kalam's father was a boat owner. His mother cooked simple meals for neighbors. They were not rich. But they were rich in discipline, faith, and kindness. They taught Kalam. Respect people. Respect time. Respect effort. No one taught him shortcuts. They taught him patience. And patience builds giants. A child who looked at the sky. While delivering newspapers, Kalam would often stop. He would look at the sky. He would watch birds. He would watch airplanes. And he would whisper inside, "One day, I will touch the sky." Others laughed, but dreams don't need approval. They need protection. The teacher who changed his mind. In school, Kalam was quiet, not weak quiet. One teacher noticed his eyes. Curious, bright, focused. That teacher told him, "You are not behind. You are becoming ready." Those words entered his heart, and belief is fuel. The psychology of self-belief. Science proves. Your brain becomes what you repeatedly tell it. Kalam started telling himself, "I can learn. I can improve. I can grow." And slowly, he did. The first failure that changed everything. Kalam wanted to be a fighter pilot. He trained. He prepared. He dreamed. But he failed the interview. He cried. He felt lost. But he did not quit. He accepted it. That failure quietly redirected his life toward space science. Sometimes rejection is not a wall. It is a signpost. A new beginning. He joined India's space research program. He studied harder than ever. While others rested, he read. While others complained, he learned. He was not chasing fame. He was chasing contribution. The seed of a giant. Inside that thin newspaper boy, a future legend was growing. But he did not know it yet. He was just preparing. And preparation always looks small before it looks legendary. Kalam's first big scientific failure. The night he almost gave up. And the mindset that made him rise again. The failure that made a legend. Welcome back. If you are here, it means you did not give up on the story, and that already says something beautiful about you. Because the people who change their lives are the ones who keep reading when others stop. And today, you are about to learn something that can protect you from quitting too early. This is the story of Abdul Kalam's darkest scientific night, the night that almost ended his dream. The first big dream. Kalam had joined India's space research program. For him, it was not a job. It was a sacred mission. He was finally close to the sky he once stared at as a newspaper boy. He worked day and night. He learned new formulas. He studied propulsion. He memorized data. He slept less. While others talked about weekends, Kalam talked about rockets. He believed, if my country can reach space, our children will believe in bigger futures. The mission that meant everything. India planned to launch its first satellite launch vehicle, SLV-3. Kalam was given the responsibility. This was not a small task. The whole nation was watching. He knew, if this works, history will change. If this fails, I will be blamed. But he accepted the responsibility with humility. He believed, great responsibility builds great character. The night before the launch, the control room was quiet. Lights blinked. Computers hummed. Hearts beat fast. Kalam checked every detail. He prayed silently. He believed. The countdown began. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The rocket lifted. And then, it went off course. Moments later, the rocket fell into the ocean. Failure. Complete failure. The moment that broke him. Silence. No celebration. No cheers. No smiles. Just broken dreams. Kalam sat quietly. He did not cry publicly, but inside, his heart was heavy. He felt like he had failed his country. Reporters waited outside. Everyone wanted to hear him explain. But Kalam did not speak. He felt crushed. The mentor who saved his soul, his mentor, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, stepped forward. He took responsibility publicly. He protected Kalam. And privately he told him, "You are not a failure. You are becoming successful." Those words rebuilt Kalam's soul. Sometimes one sentence can save a lifetime. The psychology of bouncing back. Science says, people who recover fast from failure grow faster. Kalam learned, failure is feedback, not punishment. He studied what went wrong. He corrected mistakes. He rebuilt systems. He did not hide. He did not blame. He grew. The return. 1 year later, they tried again. Same mission. Same pressure. Same fear. But this time, everything worked. The rocket reached space. India succeeded. History was made. Kalam cried. Not tears of sadness. Tears of purpose. The missile man, how discipline built a legend. Welcome back. By now, you already know. This story is not about a man. It is about what a disciplined mind can create. And today, you will see how Abdul Kalam turned effort into history. The new mission. After the successful SLV-3 launch, India's confidence grew. But the country still needed protection. It needed strength. It needed self-reliance. Kalam was given a new mission. Build missiles for national defense. Not weapons of fear, but shields of safety. This responsibility was heavier than anything he had ever carried. Why he was chosen? Not because he was loud. Not because he was proud. But because he was calm, ethical, and precise. Kalam never shouted. He never blamed. He never took credit alone. He built teams. He built belief. The hidden power of routine. Kalam followed strict routines. He woke early. He read daily. He reflected. He believed. Discipline is freedom. And neuroscience proves. Routine reduces stress and increases performance. Building India's missile program. Agni, Prithvi, Akash. These were not just missiles. They were symbols of national pride. Every project faced delays, technical failures, funding problems. But Kalam never stopped. He broke problems into pieces. He taught young scientists. He encouraged teamwork, the human side of a scientist. Kalam remembered names. He listened to juniors. He wrote notes of appreciation. He believed. Great leaders lift others. This created loyalty and excellence. The title that changed nothing. People began calling him the Missile Man of India. But he stayed simple. Same food. Same clothes. Same humility. Because success did not change his heart. It purified it. What you should learn from. 1. Discipline creates freedom. 2. Leadership is service. 3. Humility multiplies respect. 4. Teamwork builds greatness. 5. Routine strengthens the brain. The quiet power, how Kalam trained his mind. Welcome back. If you are still reading, it means you are not just watching a story. You are learning a way of life. Because part 4 is not about missiles. It is not about success. It is about mental strength. The invisible power that held Abdul Kalam steady when the world shook around him. When success brought pressure. After becoming the Missile Man of India, Kalam's life changed. People watched him. Media followed him. Leaders depended on him. Every decision mattered. One mistake could affect the nation. But something strange happened. The more pressure he faced, the calmer he became. Not cold. Not distant. Calm. This calmness was not natural. It was trained. Why most people break under pressure. Psychology explains this clearly. When pressure increases, most people react emotionally. Fear, anger, ego, stress. These emotions reduce thinking ability. That is why smart people sometimes make foolish decisions. Kalam understood this danger early. So he trained his mind before pressure arrived. Kalam's daily mental habits. Kalam lived a very simple life. He woke up early. He prayed. He read. He reflected. He did not rush into the day. Because a rushed mind is a weak mind. He believed. If you want to control the world outside, first control the world inside. The power of silence. Kalam loved silence, not loneliness, silence. He believed silence helps thoughts settle. Modern neuroscience agrees. Silence improves memory, creativity, and emotional control. While others filled their time with noise, Kalam protected silence. That silence became his strength, handling failure without hatred. Even after success, failures continued. Projects failed, deadlines broke, people criticized. But Kalam never shouted. He never humiliated anyone. He asked, "What went wrong? What can we improve? What did we learn?" This created psychological safety, and psychological safety creates innovation. The difference between ego and confidence. Kalam had confidence, not ego. Ego says, "I am always right." Confidence says, "I can learn." He listened more than he spoke. He asked questions. He learned from juniors. That humility kept his mind young. How he dealt with anger. Kalam once said, "Anger destroys logic." When angry, he paused. He walked. He breathed. He delayed decisions. This simple habit saved many relationships and projects. The role of faith. Kalam believed in God, but he never forced beliefs. For him, faith was inner discipline. It helped him accept outcomes peacefully. It reduced fear of failure. It kept him grounded. The calm leader effect. When a leader stays calm, the team stays calm. When the team stays calm, performance improves. Kalam's calmness created focus. Focus created results. What you should learn from Part 4. 1. Pressure reveals preparation. 2. Calm minds make better decisions. 3. Silence strengthens thinking. 4. Ego blocks growth. 5. Emotional control is real power. 6. Humility keeps you learning. 7. Faith can create inner stability. A question for you. When pressure comes into your life, do you react or respond? Because reaction is emotional. Response is powerful. Kalam always responded. The president who remained a student. Welcome to the final chapter. This is not the end of a story. This is the beginning of your new way of thinking. Because what Abdul Kalam became in his last years is what made him immortal. Not power, not titles, but his heart. When the nation called him, one day, the Indian Parliament did something unexpected. They did not choose a politician. They chose a scientist. Abdul Kalam was asked to become the President of India. He was shocked. He had never chased power. He had never played politics. But he accepted, because he believed leadership is service. A president who walked alone. He lived simply. He carried his own bags. He kept his old sandals. He smiled at guards. He did not change, because his identity was not built on position. It was built on purpose. The president who answered children. Kalam received thousands of letters from students. He answered them individually, because he believed children are not tomorrow's citizens. They are today's strength. His final message. He told young people, dream big, work honestly, stay humble, never give up, serve your nation. The day the nation cried, while giving a lecture to students, Kalam collapsed and passed away. He died doing what he loved, teaching. A perfect ending for a perfect life. What he left behind, not money, not buildings, but hope. Hope that ordinary people can become extraordinary. Your turn. You don't need rockets. You need discipline, humility, and belief, because your life can also become history. The end. Subscribe for more motivational English stories, because your dream deserves your effort.